Raised here in Salisbury, Maryland. That's my kid. That's my other kid. I graduated from Y. Say hi. Dipsy, sit down. I graduated from Y High in 2001. My story is from the west side of Salisbury, off of Jersey Road. So I grew up in Jersey Heights. My grandmother and grandfather raised me, and my grandmother raised me beginning at 8 years old, learning about politics. Because she didn't get the right to vote till she was 30 years old. She wanted me to be fully aware of what was going on at all times. She told me to make sure that I was asking questions, whether if it was the government, church, or even school. I needed to ask those questions. This very, very quiet lady got a really big mouth advocate for a lot of stuff. So I was writing letters to the editor, to the Daily Times before there was a paywall. I was writing letters to Governor Paris Glendening about the bypass going through my community. Right? We remember that. We were writing letters. We were walking out of school when Columbine hit, right? Because it was the first time we saw it. And no one could tell us if we were safe or not. So we walked out, and I got a high five for that. I moved away, went to college, because that's what you're told on the Eastern Shore. You got to leave to make something of yourself. My grandparents both passed away in 2001, right after I graduated high school. But I went on to get my bachelor's in psychology and communication studies, and then came back home. And I started my radio career. I wanted to just do marketing, but Brian Cleary at Clear Channel Radio said, "Now I'm gonna put you on air on multiple stations." And I said, no. But I did it, and I started my 20-year career in radio that took me to Harrisonburg, Virginia, which is a much redder district than this, then to the Adirondacks in New York, Nashville, Tennessee, and then in Norfolk, Virginia, where I stopped because there was more. There was definitely more waiting for me, and I got hired by the DNC for the Biden-Harris campaign, which then became the Harris-Walz campaign. And we worked for Virginia's 2nd Congressional District, and I got a chance. I think I want to talk like this, because this mic is driving me a little insane. Can y'all hear me? Yeah. All right, cool. I love a mic. I love having a mic in my hand, but I can actually talk loud here. I hope you can hear me in there. During that campaign, I got to work with a congressional candidate, and I saw all the things that she did. They don't usually react like that. Sorry.
Oh, that was funny.
All right, I'll be here all week, people. All right, here we go. All right, so during that congressional campaign, I found all the things you should do, but mostly what you shouldn't do. I watched a woman run a campaign and go through and forget the people. All the people, and then people that looked like me, and I was like, ooh, that doesn't seem like that smart. Dipsy. Go sit down, Dipsy, please. And then I watched a congresswoman walk in to try to help her, and came in and looked at her and just like in awe. This congresswoman was something different, because she had flipped a red district blue in 2018 after 50 years of it being red. And I said, you know what? I looked at my home district. I'm watching this campaign. My imposter syndrome is leaving. I think I can go home and do it. And she said, well, who's the incumbent? I said, Andy Harris. She said, oh. I know him. Here's how you beat him. She gave me step-by-step instructions on how I would do it, and it was great because it aligned with what I was thinking. And that congresswoman is not a congresswoman. She is now the governor of Virginia, Abigail Spanberg. She's a really smart woman, really smart with politics, really good with what she's doing, and really good with people. And I watched how she let my 5-year-old talk about whatever he was talking about, and told me to get out of the conversation. And I was like, that's the future governor. You can't just talk to her. And then after leaving that campaign, I learned how to look at precincts, look at numbers, and look at, I talked to that congressional candidate's campaign manager more than anybody else. I shouldn't have. But I said, well, why are we knocking over here when Elaine Loria lost by 2 votes over here? Like, why aren't we knocking over there? Why aren't we doing this? Like, the math isn't mathing. And she was like, oh, I guess you're right. And I was like, oh, I can do this. I can totally do this. So I came back home again, as I constantly do, and I told my family over Thanksgiving, I'm running for Congress, so don't do anything weird for the next few years, all right, guys? And so through the spring of last year, I actually got a chance to build my own campaign, and that felt really good, because this is my home. I did my research, I looked at the numbers, I made sure Andy was beatable in this district as is, and I saw it. I knew exactly what it was going to take for us to beat Andy Harris. And then I looked at whoever, I just wanted to check and see if anybody else was running, and I checked, and they were there, and I was like, oh, nobody is going to do the thing that it takes to win. So I guess I got to keep going. And then I worked with Emerge. Emerge is a group that tries to get women elected throughout the place, and I went through that boot camp. Yeah, it's great. Emerge is fantastic. And through there, I found out I needed to get a campaign manager, which needed to be somebody I trusted. And I was taking phone calls from consultants from DC to New York and all over the place. And I was like, this is my home. I kind of know how to move. I know stuff. And they told me, nah, we know how to win. So that's the only way we can do it is through my way. And I was like, oh, say less. Click. Let's hang up the phone on that. So I pulled this guy from central western Pennsylvania because I knew he was someone that would care for people. I knew that he was a better marketer than me, and I'm pretty freaking amazing. I knew he was better at it than I would, and I knew he would care about y'all, and we would be in good hands. And he said, Randy, I don't know what I'm doing. Neither do I. We got it. And it's ironic that we're standing here because yesterday was my birthday. And thank you. And last year for my birthday, I was taking a call with the Wicomico Democrats with Demetria last year, and she was the first person to take my email and say, yeah, sure, I'll talk to you. And I was like, awesome. I emailed like 20 people, and everybody like ignored me until she said something, and she got me hooked up with a town hall in July of that year. This campaign has been everything. I've gotten to do the one thing in life that I've always wanted to do. I want to make people's lives better. It's always been like that for me. And being a legislator, being a congressional candidate is the most direct way I can do that. I've listened to people throughout all 11 counties, bless you, and listened to their concerns. And that's how we got the new plan on my website at randyformd.com. It wasn't something I came up with out of the blue. It was after listening to everybody, taking their ideas and doing the research, checking to see what Andy has done, more likely like he hasn't done yet, and seeing what was possible and how we pay for it without taxing the crap out of each other. And that's where we are with that. We have a plan because you need to do more than just beat Andy Harris. It's what you do after that that's important. We live in a district, I love the music. We live in a district that's been ignored even at the state level. My whole life. And the stuff that if you guys knew the phone calls that I've had to make, and should I not stand next to that?
No, hold on, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're okay, you're good.
Rhonda's playing.
It's okay. So the stuff that if you knew the phone calls I've taken, I've listened to people throughout this campaign talk about housing issues and have taken them all the way up to Jake. I've tried to go at the county level at each county. Instead of holding those so that I can tell y'all about them, I try to get stuff done. I talked to a high-level legislative person a couple weeks ago on the phone. And I said, you know, the problem with a lot of what y'all do is y'all forget us. You forget that we have needs, especially on the lower shore. And she said, no. I've been to the Eastern Shore 3 times. If you can count how many times you've been here, you ain't been here, right? You haven't been here. And I said, we've got people that are starving. We look at our cousin county, Somerset County, we got 27% child food insecurity rate, and with adults it's 18%. It is the highest in the state. And we've done nothing about it at state level. I'm the only person yelling about it except for the people down there, and no one gives them a microphone. If y'all have seen me online lately, I've gone a little viral. I pissed a lot of people off lately, and I like it, right? And that's what, and we're talking about the unions. I'm getting back to that because I got something to say to you with that. We need people here running. And when I talked to that woman, she told me, and I talked about the black people in the district. I was like, if you look at Somerset County, they're majority black. And it's 1966 down there. And none of y'all come out there to say anything about it. She told me, and I quote, "What have the black people on the Eastern Shore done to help themselves?"
Oh, wow.
And I said, that's what I'm talking about. You confirm everything that I've said to everybody. You can't win in this district. You don't deserve to be in this position unless you're from here. Because you're the only one that's going to give a crap about it. And that's me. That's me. I don't care who comes here. And it's been 8 cycles against Andy Harris. Andy Harris isn't unbeatable. He's not that great of a candidate. We haven't given him a challenge. And that district that we've had, all these battles that Andy's had, he's prepared for it. Because I'm going to be real with y'all, because we're getting to the last days, that playbook that's been run for 16 years, Andy's ready for that. And my opponents are running that same playbook. He's ready for it. We saw Andy last weekend. He's ready to coast through this. You know what he's not ready for, though? You. What he's not ready for is the key to us beating Andy Harris. Looking at all those numbers, what did I find? I saved that. The black vote in this district is the only way to beat Andy Harris. And people are like, well, you're only... It's true. And I'm going to tell you where. Edgewood, 48% black. If it were a municipality, which it should be, it would be the largest city north of Baltimore. We had tons of Democratic registrations there. They don't vote in the congressional race. My hometown is Salisbury. The precinct I grew up in is a key precinct to beating Andy Harris. Princess Anne. Cambridge. Y'all want to guess? There's 2 more. Which ones? Crisfield and Wicomico. So what are we looking at? The Lower Shore. The Lower Shore and Edgewood beat Andy Harris if we get the black vote moving. And what happened just a month and a half ago that the only congressional candidate out here talking about it is me. Andy Harris talked about it because I brought up the question in silence. Andy Harris said this, quote, "The Voting Rights Act was created to disenfranchise black people, and we need to get over racism." That's what Andy Harris said. Andy Harris has some new moves, and I sat in that front row with my campaign manager, and we took notes. We took notes on what he said, because he's got some new stuff, because y'all know he ain't been around for a while. He's got some new ticks, but I watched how he moved. Not just what he said, but how he said it. I watched what set him off. I watched every single body movement, and I know how to get him. Is it gonna be easy? Nah, but I like hard. I like it fun. You can't get around it. But you cannot go after Andy Harris with the same playbook the Democrats have played since 2010. You can't. And people get mad at me, I don't care. We need a win so we can affect real change, and the only way we affect real change is motivating the 92,000 registered Democrats that we have here that have not voted in a primary and doing the old stuff ain't getting anybody off their seats at all. That's reality. Now the good news. So because we're in a vote to live situation, we have that. We've been knocking doors since January, all up and down this district, the 11 county district, as we've been listening to people. And it's not just going after black people, but we are the key to winning. It just is. We're building a community throughout the counties. Baltimore County cares about Wicomico County. Hartford County cares about Somerset County. Talbot County still don't care about us. That's another story. But we have that win. And yeah, everybody looks at the fundraising money and everything else. Voters have said Take the money out of politics. They've said it over and over. Stop texting me. Stop asking for money. I get it, because I ain't got it. So we tried it. Running for anything is a business. Everything costs everything. So because I didn't come from much, and my campaign manager didn't, we found ways to do things on a tight little budget. I'm a baller on a budget, y'all. And that's how we're gonna treat everything else. The plans, we got plans for vets. We wanna expand Social Security, Medicare. We wanna make sure we take care of our LGBTQ plus people. We wanna get health access over here because we miss it. It's been gone for far too long. We wanna take care of the unions. We want to take care of everyone out there. We want to take care of our cousins in Somerset and Dorchester County, where they got worms coming out in West Virginia in their water. And Andy Harris won't fix it because it's not a zip code that voted for him. All that BS stops with me. It stops. We're going to work together with the local people and make sure the funding goes where it's supposed to go, with the schools and everything else. And when we talk about the unions in Salisbury, they don't want to see you, they want to see me, baby. We talk about, I did a video, I don't know, have y'all seen the video on Facebook? So I got a call that led me into a dark hole of history on Salisbury and what they've done to my hometown and money that has disappeared, and why the people have to pay, why the people who need their money and their benefits have to pay for incompetence on whichever administration did it. That's not fair. So we're going to do an update video. The good news is that so many people responded to that video. So many people responded to that video and said, I'm going there now. I've already gone to sign it. I'm going to vote. We need to make sure we get this done. And I said, absolutely. We are calling people to action on this. We may not be asking for their dollars right now because it's not much that you can do with it. I mean, I could get more signs or whatever, so if you want to donate, cool. But we need people to move. This is a moment, if not met with movement, it won't come back again. And we have to move like that. And it's that serious because it is super serious. I had a video about Harford County and how they said no to data centers for real, and that's great. Everybody came together for that in Harford County, and I want them to be a model for all the other counties to say no. I just did a video on Somerset County that blew up. And I love that. I hate what's going on. I love it because people care. Because we want that all of us for all of us. That's on all my stuff. It's all of us for all of us. I mean it. People care about that. People are fighting back. They showed up last night. The guy is still a worthless that. But people showed up that weren't showing up before. That's the kind of movement we're getting with our campaign. And we're daring people to be bold. We're daring people to be brave. If you're mad about what's happening, let's change it. Let's stop gathering and crying about it, and let's move. I did a story about Worcester County and what they're doing, taking money from the kids and sending it God knows where. Their own pockets, that's where it is, just let you know. These are really affecting the people that are being the villains in our everyday life. And I gotta be careful, but I'll do what it takes to make sure my people are safe. And by my people, I mean my people on the Lower Shore. Y'all are my favorites. Everybody else knows that the Lower Shore is my favorite, and I'm gonna go hard for y'all. And that's what it takes. If you felt all the consequences of lack of representation, you know how to fix it. You know how to get out of it. And the motto is, just do it. People in Baltimore County get it. They understand that, and they are ready post-primary to come down here and start training people to just do that. And they want to learn more about what's down here. I'm making them believe in the shore so that we can all roll. And I'll take questions, but I want y'all to know that I'm in it, man. This is the most wonderful thing I've ever done, and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to defeat Andy. I'm not scared of him. He doesn't scare me. He's every other dude that's a bigot and everything else. I've done that my whole life. I'm not scared of that. And I know a lot of Democrats want to know, well, how do you get the Republican vote? Democrats in this state, in this district haven't even gotten all the Democratic votes first. Why are we talking about Republicans? Let's start with the Democrats that you've knocked doors on for decades. And you know how I know that? Because every door I knocked on, no one's ever been here before. I'm here. I'm ready to be your congresswoman. All right? So we're doing that. And then when we get to the primary, we still have Indies who are more likely to flip to us before Republicans. I'll tell you a story about Republicans. Listen, I have a PhD in conservative people. I spent a lot of time in northwestern Virginia, in the Shenandoah Valley. I got them. They talk to me all the time, and they're like, well, I'm a Republican. I knew that. It's all good. We had a conversation. I'm not going to get MAGA votes. No one's going to get MAGA votes. That is a cult. They are not coming here. And anybody that tells you otherwise is lying to their teeth. Let them stay in their cult. The Republicans that are going to vote for a Democrat want someone different. They don't want Republican light. They don't want you dressed in camo just like them. And they're not going to hoot and holler that I'm voting for a Democrat. They may come and volunteer, do their time, and then leave. And that's okay. I just need your vote, baby. That's it. But we haven't gotten all the Democrats in the class in the first place. And we need to get them. We need to get the Indies, and those Republicans will peel off. They want something different. And when I tell you, we've had Republicans step up to me that have come into my meeting, and after they see facts presented, they like that. That's what they want. They don't want platitudes. They don't want catchphrases. They don't want rhetoric. They just want the facts. And that's what we can do. We have to stand firm in it and not blow whichever way the wind blows. I want to say thank y'all for letting me come home and be here because this is a big deal. Thank you for your fight, Ms. Blake. I appreciate it. I know what you're going through. Yeah. And I will take any information you have so we can do a follow-up video. But if y'all have questions, please, I will take it. Yes, sir.
So I completely agree with you that the black vote is the special sauce that wins Democratic seats across the Eastern Shore. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Sorry, Zoom.
So, other candidates who have run know that, realize that, and they tried and failed to get out the black vote in significant numbers. I guess my question is, what are you doing differently? And honestly, when you canvass and you knock on doors of black voters who, let's say, never voted before, there's quite a few of them. What's their reaction? Do they say oh, it doesn't matter, I don't vote, neither party, does anything for me? Or do you see this genuine desire to come out and vote for someone like you?
Thank you for that question. The other candidates did not try. I will do it. Okay, I'm sorry, Zoom. So the other candidates did not try. It seemed like they did because that's the Democratic thing to do, but we went chasing for Republicans before we did the black vote. And that's why there's been apathy for so long. In fact, if we go back to 2010, I'm sorry guys, I'm a history buff, I'll do this. Frank Cartavo was approached by a lot of black community leaders and union leaders, hey, stay the course, vote for the ACA, et cetera, but he thought the best move for him to keep his seat was to vote against the Affordable Care Act. He didn't listen to the people, and so the people said, okay, cool, figure it out. And that's how we get Andy Harris. And every Democrat in this race has run that same playbook, run to the right, instead of listening to the people. So I've been approached by consultants that were hired by former campaigns to be the black voice, to be like the black whisperer or something like that. But because the candidates aren't authentic and they're doing it just for a vote, no one cares. And it's obvious. When I step on a doorstep and they see me and I start to talk, they're like, no, I got you. I come in with authenticity everywhere I go. And I mean this. And I talk about us moving because we need to, right? All right, Josie, that's enough, boo. I speak with that genuine manner, so I don't have to remember the things I need to say or do. But when we move, they get excited. People in my old neighborhood see those signs with my face on it. Say less, I got you. We're not a monolith, but we take care. We see that someone's actually fighting for us. When I'm down in Somerset, when I'm in Cambridge, when I go knocking, because I'll knock doors in neighborhoods that no one else will. Because I've been told, oh, why would you go there? Because they're voters. They're registered to vote. That's the problem with our party. We don't walk into projects. We don't walk into an area because, oh man, I don't know, it's a little bit too much. But you'll go after MAGA voters. That's understood by black voters in this district. But they see me out there busting my butt and they're motivated. I walk around, I've been campaigning with my ancestors on my back. My grandparents, my great-grandparents, Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, and then also at these little kids. Me, I was interested in politics as a little kid, and I never saw anyone that looked like me. I saw Rudy King because he came into my living room a couple of times, but I never saw anyone that looked like me. The little girls and boys that walk up to me, teens and college students, that are like, man, you really doing that. They're excited, they're motivated. It takes a little extra push, and I understand it. I'm not one to be apathetic, but I understand why they've been apathetic. And in talking to those groups when I first started, a lot of people said, well, you know, the black people are the reason why we don't win. And the same people, when I say the black people are the reason, the only way we can win, they roll their eyes. When you're invited into a system like that, which isn't an invitation, you don't want to be a part of it. When you're invited to a system where they say, oh cousin, come in, let's sit down and talk about your race. They get motivated. They can take that extra time. And right now we got low turnout with early voting. But you know why that is? Because our early vote locations in the whole state are inconvenient for most people that don't have public transportation. So their precincts on election day are closer to their homes, so they can go to that. So we've been making the moves. We've been in with many different communities. We're about to be on the couple stations, because again, my background's radio, and it's going to get people moving at the right time. So, and it's all about being genuine. And I actually have plans for black people in this district, and especially the history that's here, that some of it's been washed away or it's been taken away, and we need to preserve it. The Eastern Shore is big, and the black watermen we want to protect, because there used to be 800 black watermen captains. Now it's down to 12, and they're all over the age of 60. And there's a lot of discrimination going on, so we're gonna make it do what it do with that too. So there's a lot of reason for our community to be moving and helping and getting excited about it. And it doesn't mean, again, we don't leave everybody else out, but this is your key to winning. And if I thought someone else could do it, if I thought someone else would do it, and they haven't done it, I would have stepped away. As you can see, I'm busy. But this is my passion. Y'all are my passion here in this district.